Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we're talking about a viral video that's been going around and getting shared a lot this week. It's called When Wokes and Racists Actually Agree on Everything. And I have to say right out the gate, this thing is hilarious. It's really well done. It's made by a comedian and a YouTube channel called Ryan Long. He's in the video himself with his friend, and they just really nail this premise. And as you could probably guess by the title, it's about woke people versus racist people. And when we get to the video, we're going to go over it and check it out and have some reactions because it's really funny and cool. And there's some more deep stuff we could talk about surrounding it too. I mean, just from right out the gate, this is something we've addressed over time a lot on this show, like how the fact that woke people are actually the racist ones these days. They're the ones encouraging these very, very race obsessed things. They love focusing on identity and what color people's skin are, what their background is, as opposed to, judging people by their content of their character, their achievements, what they've done with themselves, and who they really, really are. Like what you're actually doing is more than what your skin color is or where your parents were born or something like that. But that doesn't stop the wokes from becoming the real racist. And that's what's portrayed in this video. It's just a funny little sketch, and we're going to go over it. And let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Let me check out this picture first. You can see the website. It's got 700,000 views. Like it's really taken off as it should because it's really funny. It's just a good interpretation and it hits home too. It actually became a little controversial, as you might guess. I mean, this is a very controversial kind of comedy, but that's what makes it so funny. It's actually one of the few kinds of edgy, funny comedy things I've seen in a long time. Like it's just hard out there for comics these days. It's hard to be funny in a culture that's so politically correct. So for someone to step up and to stand out like this is really cool. So I'm glad Ryan Long made this video and it's getting shared and getting all the attention as it should. So let's go ahead and start watching some of it and then we'll start reacting.
When me and Brad first met, I didn't think we'd get along, but turns out we kind of agree on everything. Your racial identity is the most important thing. Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of...
Okay, so the timing is really good. Like they just work really well together. I think these guys have done many videos before. I've seen another couple on their channel at least, and they're just like really good working with each other. And then I love this little bit that's going to come back eventually where they just say the same thing at the same time. In this instance, it says everything should be looked at through the lens of race. And it's like, yeah, think about it. This is what woke activists are preaching. This is what liberals are going for. And back in the day, like just 10 years ago, back in my day, that would be considered super racist as it is. I mean, it still is racist, but the public has turned. Things have gotten far more left-leaning, especially in the media, in the social media, online, the things that we see and read in the news and all that stuff, they've taken over. And it's just funny to see them like go over and speak over each other. They're like saying the same thing. And then they have the shirts too, which is just an awesome touch. The shirts make the visual joke and make it funny. And I just love the way they say the same thing at the same time. And it's like everything should be looked at through the lens of race. I mean, that's exactly what woke activists say. And then there's another one. It says your racial identity is the most important thing. And obviously, yeah, that's what leftists believe. I mean, they're always talking about, black rights, Black Lives Matter, and, talk about this, like, oh, Mexican pride. And, they're talking about all their stuff like Asians. Everything's fixated on it. They're always bashing white people for their race, which they think is okay, which is really strange. But yeah, they're really summing it up perfectly already. And we're just getting this sketch started.
Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of opinions about people of color, even though we barely know any.
I say colored people, but as long as we're classifying them, we both think minorities are a united group who think the same and act the same.
And vote the same. You don't want to lose your black card. Sorry, I don't know. I just think we should roll back discrimination laws so we can hire based on race again.
Jinx, now you owe me a Coke.
I'm sorry, the way the guy says it is so funny. He's like saying it so sweet, like so nice. Like, now you owe me a Coke. Like he's saying it so cute. It's so funny. Oh my God. And then we've got another line where they're talking the same again and they're jinxing each other. So it says, roll back discrimination laws so we can hire based on race again. Yeah. I mean, that's why a lot of people call the progressives the regressive party, because they're actually wanting to regress to things like this case, hiring based on race, discriminating people based on race. That's what they actually want now. because what happened is it's a weird thing where they've like flipped the script, and we made these laws back in the civil rights era, wanted everyone to be fair and equal, but now they realize they can actually go further and get it unfair in their favor. So they don't care that that's hypocritical, and that's like what they claim was wrong with white people. They said white people have power and privilege, but that's not the problem to them. It's not the problem that it's unfair. They just want it unfair in their favor, and that's what's going on with these discrimination laws and rolling those back and hiring people based on race, which is something we know these corporations want to do. We talk about this all the time, how they like want to hire actors just because they're a certain race. They want to make sure less white people are doing voiceover work so they can give it to more minorities. They have all kinds of stuff like this. Affirmative action is the old school one of this, where, you know, they are hiring people based on getting more minorities opportunities. And it's just another version of that. It's just like a perversion of that and going further and hiring based on race. And this is only the beginning too.
Hey, tell them what you told me yesterday.
White actors should only do voices for white cartoon characters.
I've been saying that for years. Stick to your own.
Us white people, we have so much privilege.
I agree. It is a privilege to be white. Ask him about...
This guy is nailing it. It is a privilege to be white. He just like flipped around the phrasing, and he's did this joke before. Like he said, people of color, and then he's like, I call them colored people. But yeah, as long as we tell them, you know, we're on the same page. It's so close. It's like so ridiculous how close it is. Like, and this is actually a really strong point that I hadn't thought of, because it's like whenever these people claim that there's white privilege and they have white privilege or white people have it, they are actually in a way saying it's a privilege to be white. Like they're saying it. It's like they're a self-fulfilling prophecy almost. That's what happened in this video as a joke, but that's actually what really happens in the real world. Like they're giving this privilege to white people. So it's like they're the ones making this like status thing with the race, when really we don't think about it like that. We don't even think about race much. On a normal day, it wouldn't even come up. But these liberals are so obsessed with it, they focus on it. And, you know, that's why they try to prop up the minority races, and they try to attack the white ones, and so on and so forth. The other thing they addressed in the previous shot was they addressed the voiceover story, like I just mentioned in a previous thing. Like the voiceover actors, white people have to voice white characters now, and they want minorities to voice the other characters. And it's just like this kind of segregation thing. It's like not fair. It's not really as woke as they claim. Like, I mean, basically they think woke was a good thing, but woke is racist. Like they're the same. And I mean, that's the whole gimmick of this joke. This video is nailing it, and they're just hitting all the right notes.
About interracial dating.
All I said is that black men who date white women have internalized racism, and white men that date ethnic women are fetishizing them.
Guys against interracial dating now. Like, am I being pranked? Did Boomer put you up to this?
But yeah, he says they're against interracial dating, and that's what woke people are against now too, which is exactly what like a old school racist or white supremacist would say, like, don't interracial date. And that's what woke people say. Like this guy was saying, you know, they're fetishizing minorities, or, you know, it's racist for a minority to date a white person. They need to stay in their own clique. And it's like, dude, that's like what racists say. That's what supremacists say, and like racial Puritans say. Like that's like the most crazy thing. I can't believe they think that makes them sound better. It's just racism with a different name. Like it's crazy.
You know that taco place is white owned?
White people should be making white foods like Kraft macaroni and cheese, no seasoning, not even salt. It's like he's a mind reader. I mean, I've been pushing for segregation forever, and my man does what?
I created an improv comedy show exclusively for ethnic people.
Guy segregates comedy on my birthday.
White people need to stop wearing
So yeah, he's talking about segregation and like black only spaces. They do this at colleges. They do this in comedy. We've talked about the stories recently. They've had these stories about improv comedies being racist. That happened coming out of LA. There was a couple of troops there that were accused of racism. And it's just like, yeah, you can't win. They want to segregate them. They want black only businesses. They want, you know, you can't sell tacos if you're not Hispanic. You know, white people can't make other people's foods. Like, this is all crazy. Like, it's all so funny, and it's so great that it's being put together this way, because they're right. I mean, it's like the woke people have become so extreme and like Puritan that they're the racists. They're just as bad as these racists. Like, this guy just reminds me, I want to say like that movie, American History X. Like, he kind of reminds me of like a the characters from there, like the skinhead real racist we saw in that movie. It's from the 90s. It stars Edward Norton as like a skinhead, and they would go off on things like this. And that was the kind of time when there really were like these neo kinds of racists, these neo bad people, 1940s Germans, you know, like those kinds of things actually happened way in the past some more. And this is what's coming back up with the woke people. That's what the racist character reminds me of. Obviously, these guys are playing characters. Obviously, no one should be offended by them or by these jokes. Like, they're making fun of the whole process. So they're not racist. They're not woke. I mean, they might be liberal or conservative. I don't even know where their political leanings are. It's just a fun joke, and they're just identifying something, and that all doesn't really matter.
Dreadlocks, and they need to stop appropriating black people's music.
Shaved heads and country music, the way God intended.
You know all white people are racist.
I'm listening.
Even if you have a black wife or a black friend group, you're still really racist.
You know, we just kicked a guy out of the organization for having a black girlfriend, but if you can promise me he's still really racist, we'll consider letting him back in.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. They're so funny. Okay, the best part is the guy says that all white people are racist, and he's like, I'm listening. It's so good. It's so good. He's like, I'm listening. You got me going here. Keep going. And then he explains it. And then the joke here is like, okay, I'm not to explain the jokes. You guys get it, but it's just fun to get the breakdown and the whole background and all that stuff, because it's interesting the way they do it, and the way it's like, he wants all white people to be racist. He's the racist, and he wants other people to be racist. And he said they kicked out someone from their racist group because they weren't racist enough. And this guy is convincing him that they are racist. He's like, yeah, well, all white people are racist. You're inherently racist. And it's just, yeah, again, the way the guy says it, it's so funny. He's like, I'm listening.
Black people should only shop at black businesses.
I guess the only thing we really disagree about is I think white people are the root of all evil.
But what did I tell you, though? If we can narrow that down to a certain group of tiny-hatted white people, I think we can come to an understanding.
Technically, I don't consider Jewish people white.
Neither do I.
So then they end with that Jewish joke, and yeah, so there's the only thing that they disagree on was that white people are the root of all evil. Obviously, the racist, the fake racist, is not going to think that. They think that white people are the best. You know, that's like a supremacist thing. But then he references this group. He's like, people with the tiny hats, we hate them, right? And then he's like, I don't actually consider them white. And then that's where we're at today. Like, that's what I hear sometimes. They say, like, Jewish people aren't white. I mean, I can't really get a lockdown on it because different people say different things all the time. It's usually woke people saying they're not white now, but it used to be a thing like that supremacists would say. And that's why they had that last final joke there at the end, like just saying, yeah, I don't consider them white either. And then the way he gets in his face, it's so perfect. This sketch is hilarious. Make sure you guys check it out, the full thing. We watched all of it here, but, you know, go support the channel. Check out Ryan Long's comedy. Check out this video. Give it a like. Give it a share. And then also let's comment and talk about it here. Let's see what you guys think about these jokes, about what they're saying here, the message, the great timing and sensibilities of these guys in the video, which was really well done. And let's go ahead and have a discussion. Also, hit the like button on my video on here. If you guys enjoyed it, give us some love, give it some sharing power. And until next time, everybody have a great day.